Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 9, text number 32. Rite artham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tat vidya atmano mayam yata bhaso yata tamaha. Rite artham yat pratiyete na pratiyeta chatmani tat vidya atmano mayam yata bhaso yatha tamaha. Vite artham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta chatmani tat vidya atmano mayam yata bhaso yatha tamaha. Rite, without, artham, value, yat, that which, pratiyeta, appears to be, na, not, pratiyeta, appears to be, cha, and, atmani, in relation to me, that, vidya, you must know, atmanaha, maya, illusory energy, yatha, just as, abhasaha, the reflection, yatha, as, tamaha, the darkness. Translation and purport by His Loving Divine Mercy, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Translation: O Brahma, whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has a no reality. Know it as my illusory energy and reflection, which appears to be inner darkness. It's quite heavy dose. What do you think? It's quite a heavy dose. Whatever appears to be of any value, if it is without relation to me, has a no reality. So whatever education that we have done, it's useless. No reality at all. In the previous verse, it has already been concluded that in any stage of the cosmic manifestation, its appearance, its sustenance, its growth, its interactions of different energies, its deterioration and its disappearance, all has its basic relation with the existence of the personality of the God. And as such, whenever there is a forgetfulness of this prime relation with the Lord, and whenever things are accepted as a real without being related to the Lord, that conception is called a product of the illusory energy of the Lord. Because the thing can exist without the Lord, it should be known that the illusory energy is also an energy of the Lord. The right conclusion of developing everything in relationship with the Lord is called Yoga Maya. The right conclusion of developing everything in relationship with the Lord is called Yoga Maya. And the energy of union. And the wrong conception of detaching a thing from the relationship, from its relationship with the Lord, is called Lord's Daivi or Mahamaya. Both the Mayas also have a connection with the Lord because nothing can exist without being related to Him. As such, the wrong conception of detaching relationship with the Lord is not false but illusion. Misconceiving one thing for another thing is called illusion. For example, accepting a rope as a snake is illusion. But the rope is not false. The rope, as it exists in the front of the illusion person, is not at all false. But acceptance is illusory. Therefore, the wrong conception of accepting this material manifestation as being divorced from the energy of the Lord is illusion. But it is not false. And this illusory conception is called a reflection of the reality in the darkness of ignorance. Anything that appears as apparently not being produced out of my energy is called Maya. Anything that appears as apparently not being produced out of my energy is called Maya. The conception that living entity is a formless, or that the Supreme Lord is a formless, is also illusion. In the Bhagavad Gita, 2nd chapter, 12th verse, it is said by the Lord in the midst of the battlefield that the warriors standing in front of Arjuna himself, and even the Lord had all existed before. They were existing on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, and they would all continue to be individual personalities in the future also. Even after the annihilation of the present body, and even after being liberated from the bondage of material existence, in all circumstances, the Lord and the living entities are individual personalities. And the personal feature of both the Lord and the living beings are never abolished. Only the influence of the illusory energy, the reflection of light in the darkness, can, by the mercy of Lord, be removed. In the material world, the light of the sun is also not independent, nor is that of the moon. The real source of light is the Brahma Jyoti, which diffuses light from the transcendental body of the Lord. And the same light is reflected in varieties of light. The light of the sun, the light of the moon, the light of fire, or the light of electricity. So the identity of the self is as being unconnected with the Supreme Self and the Lord is also illusion. And the false claim and the Supreme is the last snare of the same Maya or the external energy of the Lord. The Vedanta Sutra in the very beginning affirms that everything is born from the Supreme. And thus, as explained in the Prayers, all individual living entities are born from energy of the Supreme Living Being, the personality of a God. Brahma himself was born from the energy of the Lord, and all other living entities are born from the energy of the Lord through the agency of Brahma. None of them has any existence without being dovetailed with the Supreme Lord. The independence of the individual living entity is not real independence, but it's just the reflection of the real independence existing in the Supreme Being, the Lord. The false claim of supreme independence by the conditioned soul is illusion. And this conclusion is admitted in this verse. Person with a poor fund of knowledge become illusioned, and therefore the so-called scientists, physiologists, empiric philosopher, etc., become dazzled by the glaring reflection of the sun, moon, electricity, etc. And then the existence of the Supreme putting forward theories and different speculation about the creation, maintenance, and annihilation of everything material. The medical practitioner may deny the existence of the soul in the physiological bodily construction of an individual person, but he cannot give to a dead body. Even though all the mechanisms of the body exist even after death. The physiologist makes a serious study of the physiological condition of the brain, as if the construction of the cerebral lump were the machine of the functioning mind. But in the dead body, the physiologist cannot bring back the function of the mind. These scientific studies of the cosmic manifestation or the bodily constructed independent of the Supreme Lord are different reflective intellectual gymnastic only. But at the end, they are all illusion and nothing more. All such advancement of a science and knowledge in the present context of material civilization is but an action of the covering influence of the illusory energy. The illusory energy has two phases of existence, namely the covering influence and the throwing influence. By the throwing influence, the illusory energy throws the living entity into the darkness of ignorance. And by the covering influence, she covers the eyes of a man with a poor fund of knowledge about the existence of the Supreme Person who enlightened the Supreme Individual Living Being. Brahma, the identity of Brahma with the Supreme Lord is never claimed herein. And therefore, such a foolish claim by the man with a poor fund of knowledge is another display of the illusory energy of the Lord. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita, 16th chapter, verse 18 to 22, that the demonic persons who deny the existence of the Lord are thrown more and more into the darkness of ignorance. And thus, such a demonic person transmigrate life after life without any knowledge of the Supreme Personality of the Godhead. The same man, however, is enlightened in the disciplic succession from Brahmaji, who has personally instructed by the Lord, or in the disciplic succession of Arjuna, who was personally instructed by the Lord in the Bhagavad Gita. He accepts the statement of the Lord. Aham sarvasya prabhavo matta sarva pravartate iti matva vajate mam buddha bhava samanvitaha. The Lord is the original soul emanating for all emanations, and everything that is created, maintained, and annihilated exists by the energy of the Lord. The same man who knows this is actually learned, and therefore he becomes pure devotee of the Lord, engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Although the reflectory energy of the Lord displays various illusions to the eyes of the persons with a poor fund of knowledge, the same person knows clearly that the Lord can act even from far, far beyond our vision. By his different energies, just as a fire can diffuse heat and light from a distant place. In the medical science of the ancient sages known as the Ayurveda, there is a definite evidence of the Lord's supreme potency in the following words. Jagadyoneranishasya chid annad ekaripu rupinah umso asati prakritiriyatha pratichayena bhasvatah achetanamadhi sintayat chaityam yogena paramatmanah akroda vishwasham akhilam amityam na gagatam para. Anityam na tatkakritim natakakritim. Anityam natakakritim. There is a one supreme person who is the progenitor of the cosmic manifestation and whose energy acts as a prakriti or the material nature dazzling like a reflection. By such illusory actions of prakriti, even dead matter is caused to move by the cooperation of a living energy of the Lord. And the material world appears like a dramatic performance to the ignorant eyes. The ignorant person, therefore, may even be a scientist or psychologist in the drama of the Prakriti. While the same person knows the Prakriti as the illusory energy of the Lord, by such a conclusion as confirmed by the Bhagavad Gita, it is clear that the living entities are also a display of the Lord's superior energy. Paraprakriti. Just as the material world is a display of the Lord's inferior energy or Paraprakriti, the superior energy of the Lord cannot be good, cannot be as good as the Lord. Although there is very little difference between the energy of the possessors of the energy or the fire and the heat. Fire is processed heat, but heat is not fire. This simply is not understood by the man with a poor fund of knowledge, who easily claims that the fire and heat are the same. This energy of the fire, namely heat, is explained here as the reflection and not directly fire. Therefore, the living energy represented by the living entity is the reflection of the Lord and never the Lord himself. Being the reflection of the existence of the living entity is dependent on the Supreme Lord, who is the original light. This material energy may be compared to darkness, as actually it is a darkness. And the activities of the living entities in the darkness are reflections of the original light. The Lord should be understood by the context of this verse. Non-dependence of both the energies of the Lord is explained as a Maya or illusion. No one can make a solution of the darkness or ignorance simply by the reflection of a light. Similarly, no one can come out of the material existence simply by the reflected light of the common man. One should not receive the light from the original. One has to receive the light from the original light itself. The reflection of the sunlight in the darkness is unable to drive out the darkness. But the sunlight outside the reflection can drive out the darkness completely. In darkness, no one can see the things in the room. Therefore, the person in the darkness is afraid of snakes and scorpions, although there may not be such a thing. But in the light, the things in the room can be clearly seen. And the fear of the snakes and scorpion is at once removed. Therefore, one has to take shelter of the light of the Lord, Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam, and not the reflective personalities who have no touch with the Lord. No one should hear Bhagavad Gita or Srimad Bhagavatam from the person who does not believe in it. Existence of the Lord, such as a person, is already doomed, and any association with such demon with such a doomed person makes the associator also doomed. According to Padma Puran, within the material compass, there is an immune material, and all of them are full of darkness. Any living being, beginning from the Brahma, the innumerable Brahmas in innumerable universes, to the insignificant, and are all born in a darkness, and they require factual light. From the Lord to seem some the Lord, the personality of a Godhead himself can be realized by the light manifested by the causeless mercy of the Lord. The impersonalists say that God cannot be seen. God can be seen by the right of God and not by man-made speculations. Here, this light is specifically mentioned as Vidya, which has an order. This direct order of the Lord is a manifestation of his internal energy, and this particular energy is the means of seeing the Lord face to face. Not only Brahma, but anyone who may be graced by the Lord, so Lord, to see such a merciful direct internal energy can also realize the personality of a God without any mental speculation. Sri Chaitanya Vishtam Stavitam Yena Bhutale Swam Rupa Karamayam Dhanati Swapatrikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Kalakarna Shri Guru Navaishravancha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagara Raghunatham Mitam Tam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadutam Varyanasitam Krishna Chaitanya Sri Radha Krishna Madhan Sagaralita Shri Vishakha Panchakalvatarvasya Vasundavaya Bhavane Bhuteshwebhyo Namo Namah. Hey Krishna Kalasundavaya Nandara Shagopikakanta Bhatanta Kanchana Gauranga Devindavane Shri Devi Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Krute artham yat pratiyeta na pratiyeta tad vidya atmano mayam yatha bhaso yatha tamaha. O Brahmana, whatever appears to be of any value, it is without relation to me, as no reality. Now, know it as total energy, that reflection which appears to be in the darkness. In the previous verse, Lord has explained the only one way to understand about Him is to approach Him for His representative. By that, we will be able to see the Lordship. And Lord's causeless mercy only can reveal us the Lord's transcendental form. And in the today's verse, it is explained that things which are not related with Krishna never bear any value for the human being. Whatever it may be. Like few people, they consider that this Iskcon people, they only just speak about Krishna, nothing else. We are speaking about Him only because in reality, He is the person, no one else. And because of our speculative mentality, we can't able to know the Lord as it is. So best and way to know about the Lord through His own devotee. Because Lord, He gives them potency through which one can understand. So the association of devotees, on top of that, reading, when you are having association of devotees, that's also helps a lot. Because that gives a platform for each and every living entity where they can come up with the questions. And what should be the question? What's the purpose of life? How to know that? And this particular verse, it says that it's Lord's energy. One is heavy pragati and second is Yogamaya. When Jiva come under the Lord's Yogamaya potency, which is known as a union with the Lord, The other one is like a drought. Devi Maya, that always captures us, finds us in this material. And Yoga Maya, if you take shelter of that, she unites us with the Lord. And that's why he says that most of the things in this world, they are under the spell of Yoga Maya. Sorry, Mahamaya. And our connection with her, that creates the biggest illusion for us. And there are certain personalities who never wanted to the God, who never want to go to. For them, Devi Maya fascinates a lot so that they can stay in this material. But the person who wants to get rid of this world, she tortures them. So whatever attachment they may have for this material world, they should lose that. And that's why they are very intelligent. They ask for the suffering. Because suffering gives ultimate purification. That purifies your ego. Because in suffering you become helpless. And in that mode, if you pray to their Lordship, you will be liberated. So, to facilitate living entities in this material world, to make a progress in the spiritual life, Lord has done this creation. It's for our sake. So that we can use our whatever propensities are there for the pleasure of the Lordship. That need to be understood. Because most of the time Jiva thinks he is independent, so he can do anything. He's not fully independent. Because he's a part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Lord, being a whole, he is a Swarat. No one can control him. And everything under his control. But living entities, which are controlled by the modes of material nature, and that modes of material nature is controlled by God. So unless and until you take shelter of the Lordship, it's very difficult to get rid of this material world. Because this material world is not a reality. Whatever you say, whatever you perceive, whatever you smell, all these things are temporary. So, Lord is clearing one point to Brahma, that anything in this world, if it is not used in Krishna's service, whatever value materially it may have, but it is a useless. Mandanam Lokaranam. It's like a decorating the pot. And you want to make him look good. Put all sort of a makeup, get them the plastic surgery. Huh? Is that going to help that person anyway? No. So things which are not related with the Lord, and if you spend your time to cultivate them, definitely you will become loser. And Lord is speaking this to Brahmaji before he starts creation, so that we should know his capability, so that we should work. So Lord has given us also a chance to know ourselves properly. That's why The first topic in Bhagavad Gita Lord has discussed, that is about the soul, our own real identity. And if we know that, then definitely we'll be blessed by the mercy of the Lord. And it will become actual fact that we will go back from backward. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki, Vanda Srimad Bhagavatam ki,